Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into a pretty wild story today coming out of the village of Chamanpur. Now, on the surface, this might just look like a dramatic street food rivalry, but it is actually so much more than that. It escalates into a literal life or death situation. What we're really looking at here is a profound cautionary tale about the absolute destruction that comes from unchecked greed. So right off the bat, think about this for a second. Can an insatiable hunger for money literally poison your own life? It's a heavy question, right? But that's exactly what this story forces us to examine. We're diving into a scenario where the sheer desire for wealth just completely overrides all human decency. It asks us to look at that invisible line between everyday ambition and outright malevolence, and what happens when someone willingly crosses that line just to pocket a few extra coins. Picture this village square. It is basically a tale of two food carts. On one side, you've got Danu. His Panipuri business is absolutely booming, but he's forcing his overworked employee Kalu to mix in this mysterious black powder to create what he calls volcano water. It causes this intense burning sensation, but for some reason, people are inexplicably addicted to it. Then on the other side, you have Madhav. His cart is empty, it's stagnant, but it is entirely honest. Madhav flat out refuses to put chemicals in his food, and because of that integrity, he is barely selling 2 bowls a day, while Danu is just pulling in massive crowds. And man, this puts Madhav in such a devastating moral dilemma. He's failing to pay for his sick little sister's medicine, all because he won't cheat his customers. There's this village elder, Ramu Kaka, who notices Madhav's despair and hits the nail on the head. He tells him, sometimes an empty cart is a person's biggest test. Madhav literally feels like his honesty is his own worst enemy in a world that seems to be heavily rewarding Danu's deception. Okay, so Madhav goes home totally exhausted and defeated, but here comes the turning point. His mother sees his despair and hands him this old, yellowed letter. It turns out it's his late father's secret, totally pure recipe for something called the royal nectar. She reminds him that when people's minds become dark, you have to win them over with the pure taste of nature. This is the exact moment Madhav is armed to fight back. And he's not doing it by sinking to Danu's level, he's gonna do things the right way. And what's in this royal nectar? It's all natural, guys. We're talking saffron, dry cardamom, wild mint, and absolutely zero chemicals. The very next morning, Madhav prepares this new water, and the aroma alone acts like a perfume drifting through the market. These natural ingredients immediately win over the village. They completely replace that harsh, smoky, burning sensation of Danu's food with a taste that is soothing, refreshing, and most importantly, authentic. And you know what's amazing? The market corrects itself almost instantly. Danu's chemical concoction, which by the way was leaving people with numb ears and this weird artificial addiction, is just abandoned. The crowd shift entirely over to the soothing, authentic taste of the royal nectar. It's this beautiful, real-time demonstration of how authentic quality naturally overpowers deceptive shortcuts. Within hours, the crowds flock directly to Madhav's cart.
Now this is where things take a super dark turn. Losing his empire triggers something terrible in Danu. Pure jealousy and rage completely take over his logic. He just cannot stand this young upstart taking his crown. So he falls into an absolute fit of madness. He pulls out a red bottle of his secret chemical. Now keep in mind, he was previously warned to only use 2 drops of this stuff, but blind greed takes the wheel and he dumps the entire bottle into his vat.
So we've got to pause here and ask ourselves, what actually happens when the desire for wealth crosses the line into pure madness? Danu is no longer just cutting corners for a little extra profit. He is actively weaponizing his food against his own community, marking a terrifying point of no return in our story. The fallout from this is immediate, and it is horrifying. Old customers return, but after just one single bite of this heavily laced batch, chaos erupts. People are literally collapsing in the street, they're crying out that their vision is going dark, their stomachs feel like they're being stabbed with pain. The whole market is thrown into a massive panic, and Danu just watches as his empire literally falls to the ground. Just look at how fast this tragedy escalates. By the afternoon, the public square is filled with poisoned customers. By the evening, a terrified Danu rushes home to hide from the fallout. But as night falls, the horror actually follows him through his own front door. He walks in to find his wife, Bindu, writhing in agony, exhibiting the exact same terrifying symptoms as the people in the market. And this is where the devastating irony kicks in. Bindu confesses to him. She says she saw a blue-striped box in the kitchen, assumed it was some luxurious new spice, and sprinkled the entire contents over her meal so she could taste her husband's magic.
Danu completely breaks down. He set this trap to ruin others for profit, never once imagining that his own family would step right into it. Right then, the door bursts open. The police inspector, a doctor, and Kalu all rush in. When the doctor examines Bindu, he demands the truth to try and save her life, and the true, monstrous nature of Danu's greed is finally revealed. His secret spice wasn't a spice at all, guys. It was a lethal mixture of mercury oxide and synthetic lead. It was a horrific concoction designed to create a physical dependency under the guise of an extreme flavor kick. When you hear the physiological effects of this stuff, the sheer recklessness of Danu's pursuit becomes terrifyingly clear. The doctor explains that this is a slow poison. It numbs the lungs, it numbs the brain, it causes severe internal burning, and in this concentrated dose, it is rapidly reaching Bindu's heart. Danu risked the lives of everyone in the village, even the kids who called him uncle, all for just a few extra coins.
And well, here is where karma strikes back with absolute precision. Danu actually tries to lie to the inspector, claiming it's just some seasonal stomach bug going around. But Kalu, the oppressed worker who was underpaid, abused, and repeatedly threatened with boiling water by Danu, steps forward. He becomes the key eyewitness for the police, exposing exactly what Danu dumped into the vat that very morning.
I absolutely love this part. Earlier in the story, Danu had the nerve to arrogantly dismiss Kalu, calling him a meaningless, walking spoon. Now, standing right up to his abuser, Kalu delivers a final poetic blow. You said I was just a spoon. Today, this spoon has broken your pot of poison. The very person Danu marginalized is the one who seals his fate, making sure he can't just lie his way out of this. So it all comes crashing down to a devastating end. The doctor states that Bindu needs an immediate transfer to a major hospital, though her survival is highly uncertain at this point. Danu begs. He offers all his gold and wealth to save her, but the inspector coldly reminds him money might pay a hospital bill, but his actions have already pushed his wife to the brink of death. Danu was hauled off to a jail cell, his accumulated wealth completely useless in reversing the tragedy he caused. So I'm gonna leave you with this one final, provocative thought. Was the illusion of an empire really worth the destruction of a home? As you process the lessons of this explainer today, consider how Danu traded his morality for money, only to lose absolutely everything that actually mattered. It's a stark reminder that when we prioritize unchecked greed, the poison we pour out into the world almost always finds its way back to our own table. Thank you so much for joining me, and keep questioning what truly holds value.